Sometimes they'll just shut down a card and they'll either tell you, well, here's the new card you're going to get in lieu of the other one. So you really have no say. So you could either choose to accept it or
What banks aren't telling people about credit cards, about the credit cards they're getting, because I'm gonna be honest, I feel like there's a lot more changes that are coming. But what are some things that you've seen as of recently, maybe even outside of Chase, where they're just not telling their clients about either what's coming or what changes they've made, or just in general, some things that they're holding back from their clients?
a quick one. And I don't have any of their cards because they won't issue me one. Capital One, when they merge with Discover,
Yeah.
they move certain cards over, their debit cards and whatever, now to the Discover network without saying anything. It's up to the bank and up to the issuer. Sometimes they'll just shut down a card and they'll either tell you, well, here's the new card you're going to get in lieu of the other one. So you really have no say. So you could either choose to accept it or say, you know what, I don't want the card anymore. The problem with that is if it's one of your longest held cards and your history is on it, shutting down a card like that is going to hurt your score overall. The other thing is, Capital One, for an example, again, I can't get their cards for excellent credit, even though my credit score is in the 800. Why? They have algorithms behind the scenes. And that's part of the reason why when people are like, why did I get denied? I have a high credit score. I've never been late. Behind the scenes, the banks are pulling not just your FICO score, but they're looking at relationships you've had with banks, how long you've had these relationships, how much money you've had in the accounts, how many recent inquiries do you have open, how many accounts have you had open, have you been churning through cards and moving money around. Those are different things that banks do behind the scenes that they don't tell you they're doing, but they do them anyway. And that's why right now a lot of them are clamping down on allowing people to apply for their cards and then just giving the people, the okay on these cards. And a lot more denials are coming out of them. And if you notice, amongst the Capital One, Citi, Amex, and Chase, they're all now have premium cards banging on $400 and $500. They all limited the amount of access they're giving you to, let's say, lounge access, because they want to clamp down on that. They're literally looking at what the other's doing and seeing what's working and then applying it to their own system.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a money game and everybody wants to be the top dog. Amex in the credit card space is that, but you see Chase, the biggest bank in the US, is copying Amex, which is just
Wow.
rare. So they'll
Yeah.
do a lot of these things and not tell you. I think what bothers me the most is when a bank shuts down a card and then stuffs it down your throat the next card that might suck. It might be a terrible product. It might
Yeah.
be a cash-based card. Meanwhile, you like more points and miles and more flexibility. So there's things like that these issuers are doing, and they're not giving the consumer the opportunity to pick and choose. They're kind of forcing you to make that choice.